This is a Dancing Stickman production. Content warning. This series contains potentially upsetting themes, including mind control, harm to children and animals, and death. So you crest this rise, and the path that leads you downwards, you can actually see from the top that it sort of sinks down into almost a bowl. And as Song told you, at the center of this bowl is a large oblong body of water. Could be a lake, could be a pond. It's pretty big. It's about 300 feet long and 150 feet wide. You're coming down from due north, almost the very top of this bowl shape. And you see in the center of this body of water is a gigantic, roaring whirlpool. It's incredibly loud. It echoes off of the walls of the mountains that ring this space, and it makes hearing exceptionally difficult. You are still basically only seeing what is illuminated in lightning flashes, but you can see that across the water from you can see the glow of firelight. I just want to ask and not assume, do you descend down a little bit to get a better picture of what it is that is happening around here?
So when we descend, is there some sort of beach, I guess, between us and the waters, or?
As you come down, the rocks here, as I said, are very jagged, and most of anything that's not jutting giant boulders is scree covered and loose. You are on a sort of loose scree slope that comes down, yes, almost to a beach at the top of this body of water. But to your right, you see a looming cliff wall that looks almost unscalable. But to the left, there's a little bit more shoreline that continues down along the long side of this pool of water. And I want you to imagine, if you will, the shape of an eye. That's kind of the shape of this body of water, 300 feet on the long end and 150 on the short end. And this whirlpool is the pupil.
And you said, where was the firelight that we saw? It was in the across?
Across the water from you, almost directly across from you.
What's the color of the fire? Is it orange, blue?
Orange. It looks like a regular, a bonfire or a campfire.
A regular fire, and not magical fire.
Yeah. No weird colors or anything. I'm interested in knowing what your approach is going to be. So I think it would occur to you, Naya, that you are standing uphill on a flat open area, and that while it's very dark when there isn't lightning flashing, you might be silhouetted when it is, and you are facing obvious human habitation.
Oh.
Everybody give me a perception check with disadvantage.
All right. Well, I don't need to roll again because it was a nat 1 for me.
Hey.
Ew, I got a 4. I think I'm overwhelmed with the sight of the whirlpool.
And the sound of it is so loud because it's just bouncing off all of these cliff walls.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear your own voice at a slight delay and echoed back to you, but with the sound of just roaring, rushing water.
Where should we go? Should we go down? Or I don't know. I think I see a path on the left side.
I think it's time for us to go down. I think we need to stay low so that we're not potentially seen.
Is that safe?
Naya got a 12 on her perception check. So Naya, you can see vaguely where that fire is, shapes that look like tents.
Oh, yeah, there are tents down there. I don't know if it's safe or not, but I know it's not safe to stay up here.
What? You said ant?
I take Ofelia and Emmett's hands, if I can, and start slowly leading them down the path.
So you descend down towards the shore, and the nice thing about this is now you've got a bit of slope behind you, so it's going to be harder for anybody, if they have sharp eyes, to pick you out. You guys take a little bit of shelter from the rain underneath a large overhanging rock, so you're a little bit pressed back into the shadows. What do you all want to do?
Can we see the whirlpool from here?
So because you're down almost at the water line, all you can really see of the whirlpool, the water crashes and splashes where it is at the center of this body of water. But it's not even that you can see the whirlpool, it's that you can see the opposite edge of it where it just sort of curves down. So you can't really see into it, but you can see the way that it is sucking everything around it.
Emmett has this weird feeling. She's kind of disturbed, kind of like a chill in her shoulders. She remembers being in Igern's cottage, and that's where we had that first dream. Sitting down, she kind of recalls the feeling of waking up from that dream, and she remembers when that big creature got sucked down into that vortex. And she's just kind of gonna think about that. I don't think she would say anything unless she thinks of anything. Can I make an Arcana check?
What are you trying to check?
I want to see if being in this place reminds me of that feeling of being in...
Yes, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Okay. It's not great.
It's not great. As you gaze at this whirlpool, it seems very much to be a natural phenomenon. You just have a sense of unease because so many things that you have encountered over the last few seasons, you've felt these things pulling you in, whether you want to or not. And that's what the whirlpool makes you think of being drawn in.
And you okay? You are kind of still there.
I'm fine. Let's just be really careful.
Deception versus insight now.
My deception?
Yes, your deception versus Ophelia's insight.
My insight is not that great.
I would like to help Ofelia.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's a lot better, actually. Thank you. So my insight is actually going to be a 25.
I got an 8 and I have +6.
Naya definitely also can tell something strange with Emmett.
You can tell that Emmett is disturbed, that something about this place is prickling at her spirit. But if she doesn't want to say anything to you, you don't believe her when she says she's fine, but if she doesn't want to say anything to you...
With that 25 too, I think I'm going to see where she was looking at and see that whirlpool. And even though I don't know exactly the nature of what's disturbing her, I'm just going to pat her on her leg. It's fine. You don't have to worry about it. We're not going to get too close to it. I will take care of you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to kind of lean into Ofelia.
Naya's gonna offer to, if Emmett wants, do you want to just catch a ride on my back?
Yes, please.
All right. So Naya bends down, lets Emmett hop on back, and is gonna offer a piggyback ride as we continue down.
As you do that, Emmett's like never done this before, so not really, not in a long time at least. And so she just is choking you with her legs.
My carotid!
Yeah, Naya is not going to do anything. She's just gonna keep focused.
I think as that's happening, Ophelia's going to remember that Naya had mentioned something about tents. Can I see if I also see them now that we're sort of down?
So you've come down, you're on the shore, and so you're moving to your left. So clockwise, essentially, around this. Because that's the only area where the shore is like free-ish of these large, jagged rocks. To your right, it's actually a series of sheer cliff faces that rise out with spiky rocks jutting out from them. So as you're circling down, you're actually coming closer to wherever it is you see this fire. So if you want to take some time and do an observation check, I would allow you to do that. Or if you want to do something else, just let me know.
I'll assist Naya.
I want to definitely get a sense of, like, is the fire still burning? How long has it been burning for? Also looking for, like, footsteps.
I'm on Naya's shoulders. Can I do like a perception check?
We could have Emmett roll perception and call it with advantage because she's up high.
Yeah.
With help from Naya.
I love that. Yes.
So
I'm going to say because you're getting closer to the fires that you see that it's going to null out the disadvantage from the storm. 14. Okay, from your perch on Naya's shoulders, you can actually see that the way this shoreline curves around, it actually doesn't meet this place that you're seeing. Whatever it is, there are these tents. You can see dark shapes of people moving against the firelight. There are actually two fires. There's one that's actually much closer to the water, and there's one that's further in between these tents that looks more like a central bonfire. And you can see the dark silhouettes of people moving around, maybe 3-4 people. Some shapes bigger than others. You can't really distinguish much. But the thing is that the way this shoreline curves around, the camp itself is actually up against a river that you are coming down to meet from the other side of. And this river, the way it exits the calyx is there's just a high channel of high-walled cliffs as this river actually comes into the center of the calyx and joins the flow of the water that's circling around this whirlpool. So if you were to try to get to this camp, you would actually have to cross over this river. What you can see is that the second smaller fire is kind of on the corner where the river curves around to the pool of the calyx, and there's a dock there jutting out into the water and a small rowboat bobbing alongside it. And one of the shapes that you're seeing is right by that fire, just hanging out, standing still.
Are the people too far for us to observe? Because I think Ofelia is going to turn to both and say, I didn't think that people lived in Hadari.
I have no idea that people lived in Hadari either. You said there's shadows of people.
Yeah, because you can't really distinguish much against, most of them are backlit from the fires behind them.
Just for clarification, from our position, they look like the shadows and shapes of regular, normal people.
Humans?
Humans.
You would guess, yes.
We would guess. Interesting.
Naya, do you think Phobos would be okay with checking? I guess I'm just scared that what if these are church
members?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Naya is going to move a little closer to the wall, keeping Emmett on her back, and then whisper to Phobos, can you go over there, check things out? And send Phobos off to kind of surveil the area and remain quiet.
Phobos, who has been flying above you when you were in that valley and down here, and who was perched on your shoulder, had come down to meet you, and he goes, ah! And flutters off.
Good boy.
I will say, just also for Emmett's perception check, I'm going to give you one more thing. Now that you've moved counterclockwise down around the curve of this calyx, you are now able to see Emmett not across from you south, the way the encampment is, but across from you west, on the far side of the long end. You can see that even though the walls of these cliffs and mountains are quite sheer and difficult to traverse, you can see that there is, on the water, a cave that leads into one of them. And from that cave, you can see it's very dim, but it's like a sickly, yellowish, greenish light. And it is bouncing off the inside of the cave walls, which appear to be wet. So it's almost like it's creating a reflector behind whatever is casting this light. And there's just a little bit of sickly glimmer coming from the mouth of this cave.
What color was the light in the Shrine of Change?
It was a sickly because that's the color. Bluish green.
Bluish green. So this is a different sickly color.
It is a different sickly color. But green, nevertheless, because that's the color of sick.
Yeah. I mentioned this, I'm like, you guys see that disgusting yellow light in that cave?
What's that?
I don't know. Let's maybe check it out.
So Phobos has flown over. He actually has gone over the encampment. And Naya, you, in attempting to see what Phobos sees, your eyes go white. And you go blank and still with Emmett on top of your shoulders as you look through your raven's eyes. He lands. So the river comes past one side and it does border the whirlpool a bit, but there is another cliff face and another cave. And as he had flown towards the cave, you could see the glow of torchlight within it. But he actually winds up settling and perching on top of it. And as he turns around to observe this encampment below him, what you see are, to one side of the cave are two large tents. One of them, the one that is a bit further away, it's glowing with lamplight, and there are some silhouettes moving against the fabric of the tent. The other two tents that are much smaller are closer to the bank of the river. They are quiet and still. There is one person, she's wearing armor, who is over by the dock across from where Phobos is perched. She's guarding the fire. And then there's an additional guard in armor sitting around the bonfire that's in the middle of all the tents. But as Phobos looks down, almost directly below, like towards the mouth of this cave where this torchlight is glowing, he sees two children. And they're just sitting there, out, exposed in the storm.
I would like to get a closer look at the children.
Okay. Phobos, he does that bird hop thing where he just kind of like hops down the rocks. He kind of comes down around the cave mouth. They're sort of tucked up against the wall that this cave enters into, and a large boulder just sort of sitting pressed back. What is it you would like to see about them? They're just sitting there.
Checking to see if are they sleeping? Are they alive? Just kind of checking in for their like well-being first, because it's a little strange to see children just sitting out in a storm, not covered by anything, is the first thing. And then I think the second thing she would look for is if there's any like one of the same things that Uneza has. Just kind of reminded of what Ofelia and Emmett were talking about.
Give me a perception check.
Absolutely.
Or an investigation check, whichever.
Let me do a perception check, because I'm really interested in just what I see.
That's great. So these children, as Phobos, he actually gets down onto ground level and hops up to them. They have their knees wrapped into their chest around themselves, but they are just both conscious and staring blankly ahead of them. And as Phobos flutter hops to the back of them, you do see each of them has a little small stone at the back of their neck. Have Phobos give me a stealth check, please.
That's a 9.
Okay, so a guard walks out of the cave that's at Phobos' back, and Phobos flutters up, startled, right in front of him and flies off. I think at that point you bloop back into your own body as Phobos kind of pushes you out of his brain. But if you're looking towards the encampment, you can see this person silhouetted against the cave mouth, but lit by the bonfire in front of him. It's another armored man. And he goes to one of the children, picks him up, and starts bringing them over towards the dock and the rowboat.
Uh-oh.
Give me a perception check just to see if you beat like a DC 12 so you can see what's going on. But Ofelia, you have night goggles, yes?
I do.
So why don't you go ahead and roll with advantage, because it is nighttime and you have something that helps you see better.
I got a 14.
Great. So this man who has brought this child with him, the child is not struggling, he's just holding the child by the arm. He stops in front of the guard who's over by the dock, speaks with them briefly, and then the two of them and the child get into the rowboat at the dock. And you see them launch off and away. They don't move towards the center, obviously, because that would be moving right into the whirlpool. They move down and around towards the far end, away from you guys, passing behind some other rocks. And it takes probably 10, 15 minutes for them to circle back up and around, but then you see the silhouette of the rowboat against that cave that's backlit by yellow-green light. And then the boat turns and enters the cave, and that's the last you see of it.
I tell this to everyone else. You had just seen Ofelia put on her goggles and face towards that way, and she tells you, it looks like that they took one of the children to the mouth of the cave. This doesn't look good.
Absolutely not. Those kids had the same stones that were on the neck of Uneza. I do not think that this is good.
This is just getting more and more dangerous.
Is there still this, I believe you described a female guard standing next to a fire?
She got in the boat with the other guard and the child.
Okay, so there's no one else at camp.
There was somebody at the center of the camp around the bonfire. There were silhouettes in the tents, in the large tent that had lamplight in it, and there are 2 small tents that Phobos did not enter. Mm-hmm. Or 3 tents, actually, that Phobos didn't enter, so he doesn't know what's in them.
No. Okay.
Did Naya see how old these children were?
They're like Emmett-sized, yeah.
Emmett-sized, but Emmett is small for her age.
So indeterminate, but small. Young.
We gotta go help. There's kids here.
I think so. I think we need to figure out what their plan is. Ofelia, do you recognize what they're wearing?
I guess if you describe for me their clothes.
Give me, let's say, a history check. Yeah, give me a history check.
I don't know if it's gonna be good, but let me see. History is a 15.
They're wearing armor. That's easily recognizable, but I think the one thing that you catch is on the breastplate of both the guards was a wide open eye with 8 spikes coming out of it.
Yeah, It looks like, as we feared, the church is here. I will say this, though. If we want to get closer to the cave and we can find a way, I don't know how much, but I think I can do something to maybe get an idea of what's going on in there.
Do we think that the shrine is in that cave? I can only imagine that's probably where they're taking them. This is the same thing maybe that happened with Uneza.
That's what I'm assuming as well. I don't see any clearing, at least from what you described, where there would be the shrine, and it's not in the water, like Captain Song would say, so I think that's our best bet.
I think we have to go.
Did you say that there was another cave, actually, Sarah, other than that one?
There's a cave by the encampment, and then there's a cave all the way across from you on the far end, and that's where that light is coming from.
Got it. Probably not connected. Okay. I think that seems to be where we need to go.
I think so.
You hear well, actually, I don't know if you hear it. Never mind. Everybody roll me perception with disadvantage.
No.
Well, the whirlpool's really loud. Sorry.
What if I cast silence on this whirlpool?
You might give yourselves away.
I know, that's why I haven't.
It's only an 8 for me.
Perception with disadvantage.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Let's go!
Wow. Naya, 26 for Naya with disadvantage. My God. Naya, you hear over the sound of this whirlpool, perhaps in a moment where the bouncing echoes quiet a little bit, yelling, coming from the cave that's in the encampment. Rushing out of it, you see another small figure that runs out the mouth of the cave, stops, looks around. You can see them moving their head, and they spot the other child who is not taken into the boat. They run up to it. It looks like whoever this child was that came out of the cave throws themselves around this other child before a guard comes rushing out from behind them, grabs the active child, and drags them back into the cave.
Oh, Sarah.
How far, if we wanted to get to the encampment, how wide is this river?
25 feet.
How calm or rough is this river?
There's no rapids. It's not like it's like running into rocks and stuff like that, but that means that the surface of the water is actually relatively calm, and you can't exactly tell how fast the water is moving.
Okay. I'm gonna whisper to Ofelia and Emmett, do we want to go over there? I think we need to help them.
We just have to make sure that we are not going to be seen, though, because there are people.
I'll cast invisibility on myself.
I'm going to immediately cast see invisibility.
Of course. Yes. Of course.
Just an invisible child on your shoulders.
Do you have a way of crossing? Because I think I can do what we did when we were with the elk. I think I can get over there. But after that, I mean, is there any places that I can hide as soon as I get across the river?
You think that you could maybe sneak behind the tents? Some of the tents, their backs are to the actual river. The other two, the larger ones, there's a cliff wall behind them. So you could maybe hide behind the tents, but it's actually, because this area is a low embankment that's mostly open, you can see this is why it's an ideal spot for them to pick as a camp.
The river goes around and into the cave that the child was pulled into, correct?
No. If the camp is in the middle, the river is on one side and the cave is on the other, on the exact opposite side.
Okay.
And then one side that connects them that's behind the encampment is mountain, and the rest is the actual body of the calyx itself, where the dock is.
Okay, I see. So, mountain, cave entrance, calyx with the dock, river. But river goes into calyx, which is a body of water. And how close is, let's say, the edge of the cave entrance that is not in the water to the water itself?
About 40 feet away from the actual water.
Okay.
It's upslope a little bit.
What I can do, ladies, is I can cast water walk and we could walk on the water. We could see how that goes. I don't know how rough the water is, but we could at least try and stealth our way across it and maybe avoid entering through the camp.
The only issue with that is that we would be in open territory walking across the water. and that would be my fear. I think I can do something for us. I think I kind of got an idea from both Igern and Liev. What would be the safest spot? You said there's some of the tents are towards the cave wall, the cliff wall, you said?
The cliff wall, not the cave wall.
Sorry,
Yes, they're like pushed back against the cliff wall, yeah.
And then how close is the cliff wall to the cave entrance?
It's actually pretty close. This whole area is about 65 feet square. So the cave itself is set back about 40 feet from the water. So give it another, 5, 10, and it hits the cliff wall that the bigger tents are pressed up against.
Here's my plan of action. I'm gonna cast Dimension Door with a range of 500 feet towards that cliff wall that I see. And since I can touch one more creature, and since Emmett is technically on Naya's back,
I don't know about that.
can it work?
Yes. Yes.
Can you get more people if you upcast it?
Let me see. You can also bring one willing creature of your size or smaller who is carrying gear up to its carrying capacity.
We're calling Emmett gear.
Yeah, I would assume so. Because I'm assuming your carrying capacity is quite big.
Pretty high.
Yeah.
Naya can carry a lot.
Yeah, and especially able to carry a small child.
So frail, so little.
So tiny.
So lightweight.
Frail child.
Okay, I'll allow it. If you all wanna dimension door over there, you can.
Yeah. What Ofelia is going to do, as Naya's talking about perhaps walking on water, I'm gonna say, wait, I think I know a way. I'm gonna touch the stone where we're at, one of the rock faces, and I'm gonna search deep, probing to find roots, and I'm going to say, I need your help, and I'm gonna make a wrenching motion, and cracks against the stone will appear and crumble away to sort of make a gateway for us, and then a similar thing will happen with one of the cliff walls on the other side. And then I'm just gonna turn to Naya and Emmett and say, I think we can go through this way, and I'm gonna walk through.
The cracks branch out like quickly growing roots. They aren't super bright. They have that soft glow of mycelium that's bioluminescent, and they become so thickly interwoven so quickly that it's just pure light blue glowing portal. And you step through. You intend to appear behind these two tents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you intend to step out. Okay. Emmett and Naya, are you going with?
Absolutely.
Now, Naya, you are not invisible, but you do have see invisibility, correct?
That is correct.
That's concentration, right?
Oh, yes.
All right, you are now behind the two larger tents.
Are we close to the cave where we saw that kid run out?
Yes.
I think we shouldn't waste any more time. We should go maybe try and see what's going on in there.
If you want, but I wonder if that should be our priority. I think we need to find a way to get to the other cave. Because it seems like at least this child, or both children, are right now safe, but the other child might be in danger.
Yeah.
Now that you've gotten closer to where all the action is, I would like you to... You don't need to do this, Emmett, because you're invisible, but I would like the other two of you to please give me a stealth check. And then everybody give me a perception check, and you can roll it flat because you are much nearer.
My stealth is gonna be a 5.
Oh!
My perception is going to be a 16.
Is it possible for me to cast guidance on Ofelia, even though she already rolled?
Yes, you can cast guidance.
Okay.
Then do I add D4? I forget.
I think you add a d4 if you want to your stealth, although Naya's stealth is also not great.
Yeah.
Do I have to... Oh, it's
Oh,
concentration.
you have to drop, yeah, you have to drop invisibility to do it.
Never
so-
mind.
Never
Okay.
mind.
I'm gonna say that probably Ofelia was hoping that the crumbling would have been not too noticeable, but she still doesn't know how to control it just yet, so maybe it was a lot bigger than she had hoped.
You're behind a larger, dark, quiet tent that's closer to the mouth of the cave. The one that's further away is the one that has lamplight in it, and in that tent you can hear two voices talking. But as you appear and the rocks of the portal that you just made appear veined throughout the cliffside kind of crumble. And you hear one of the voices stop talking. It's a deep male voice. And he goes,
What was that?
and you hear a woman's voice go,
I don't know, Cattle. Go have one of your men look after it.
and this man steps out of the tent. And he's very tall. He's got a thick black beard. He's wearing armor, and his breastplate, yes, has the all-seeing eye of Tyos on it, but he also has a pendant as well. And you can tell by how nice his armor is that he might be somewhat higher ranking than some of the other guards here. But as you have peeped out around the corner of the tent, he turns towards you and catches a glimpse of motion as you duck back and starts coming around the front of the tent. So he moves towards the cave, and he's going to come around the corner, and you have to decide now what you want to do in case he comes and gets you.
There are two things that I could potentially do, and I think one of them could be to Misty Step, and the other one is to put this man to sleep.
You have to decide. Let me open his sheet.
Should we roll an initiative, though, to first see who goes first?
Yeah, let's have the three of you roll initiative, and then I'll have him roll initiative. But, like, you basically have this turn, and then it's his turn.
What the heck, man? I got a 5.
Yeah, my initiative is only a 7.
Ooh.
I think Ophelia's feeling very flustered.
I'm on someone's shoulders.
It'll be Ofelia, Emmett, Naya, and then this person. Now, you are right next to a tent. You cannot hear anything from inside this tent, just so you're aware.
I'm gonna take Emmett's cue, and I think along the times that we've traveled, I think I'm going to have sort of asked her about this. I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
All right. So Emmett and Ofelia are now invisible, and it is Emmett's turn after Ofelia. So what would you like to do?
Just in case, depending on what Naya is gonna do, is it possible if I could minor illusion like a Eye of Tyos on Naya, just in case? Just in case?
You can.
A pendant necklace. Even though Naya has already been, like, stared at by guards, like, why do you look like that?
Naya has not been stared at by guards yet.
Not
they
here, but like back in Tuvold and
yes,
stuff.
Yes. You can definitely give her a little fake pendant.
Just in case.
Just in case.
I will do that. It's not concentration. It's just up to 1 minute.
Naya, it is your turn, and then this man will round the corner.
He's around the corner.
Yeah, he's about to round the corner along the side of the tent where you guys have perched yourself. So you are the last one left visible.
Yes. Well, I mean, I could just also cast invisibility on myself.
You wouldn't be able to see Emmett anymore.
Right.
You can see Ofelia and Emmett right now.
This is my problem. How close is the entrance to the cave now?
It's quite close, but you'd have to pass him to get into it.
Okay, but is it like 30 feet away?
No, it's less than that for sure. It's like maybe 10, 15 feet.
So if I was to Misty Step over there, such that I would teleport up to 30 feet.
We could get you... There's no requirement of like how much you can see, right?
No, it's just a thing for myself, and I can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space.
You would get you, essentially, when he rounds the corner, it would get you behind his back and inside the mouth of the cave.
Yeah, let's do that.
All
Why
right,
not?
great.
Why not? That's crazy.
Just as this man comes around the corner, it's almost like a hole opens up beneath Naya and swallows her into the ground, and then she whoop, pops back up right behind him, and the two of you see this. Emmett, you see it in particular because you land on your ass. And while he hears this sound, he has a lamp. He does not see anything. He does move down and around just to get a look behind the tent.
We move.
The two of you probably press yourselves up against the wall and suck in your stomachs. And he slides past you, and you see as he comes around the back of the tent, he lifts up the flap of it, and you can see into it from his lamplight. You can see crates, packed crates. He takes a moment, he peers around, he puts the lamp in front of him to see. He actually even steps into the tent a little bit just to take a look around the sides of the crates. But he steps back out, he looks up towards the larger tent and back. He sees nothing, and he actually walks the rest of his circuit around the back of the bigger tent and then back in the front, and you can hear him start up the conversation with the woman inside the tent again.
Do I recognize the crates? Are they descript?
Let's say, give me Perception DC 10.
Okay.
You've got this.
16! You do actually recognize one of the crates. Just one. It's smaller. It's the same size and shape and has the same marking on it as some of the crates that were leaving the orphanage. The smaller ones, not the child-sized ones.
Oh.
Okay, so he walked away.
I'm gonna listen into the conversation between the two people and try to catch what they're talking about.
To do that, you would want to move up, sneak up a little bit closer to the tent. But because you're outside in the dark, no worries regarding that there. What you hear mostly is this man talking at this woman. She is staying in one place. He's saying,
I do truly feel that if we just used the dagger again, we'd perhaps be able to get the beast back under our control. But Hollis is not allowing, he has prohibited me from continuing my experimentations with it, and I don't see how, as a man of science, he could possibly approve, why he would possibly deny this to me. This is, after all, this operation is happening on his orders, and if it would help speed up drone production, then I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be trying again.
and the woman, you can hear, she's just going,
Oh yeah, I agree, yes.
You can see his silhouette pacing around. Like, you can see it moving and locate that as the sound of his voice, but that is what he is talking about.
I'm going to go back behind the tent and I'm gonna just say, whisper lowly, Emmett.
Disadvantage for perception, though, because it's loud and you're whispering. And you can't see Emmett, yeah.
Okay. Me? Perception disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay. It's still 12.
I don't think you hear her. I think you two might have lost each other.
So Ofelia is trying to find me. I would have been trying to go into that little dark tent and
Into the dark tent. Okay,
see
so
if I can take a peek at this crate.
amazing.
So I'm even further away than when she left.
Yeah, so Emmett's inside the tent now, and Ofelia is fumbling around in the dark behind this tent, attempting to locate her. Emmett, can you please give me a sleight of hand check?
Okay.
Well, actually, what are you doing inside the tent?
I want to try and open the crate.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Nice.
15.
The first chest is locked, but you pick that easily. It's not like a super secure lock. And you open it and you find 2 little bottles, and they are filled with a viscous bright blue liquid, which reminds you very much of the little bottles that you swiped from the apothecary. Bottle, singular.
I forgot I did that.
Yes, you still have that on you.
Can I compare them?
If you pull the smaller one that you have out and you look at and you compare it to, they look like the exact same substance.
Huh. Do these have like a symbol on them that I could?
There is a little wax seal on the top that has waves on it, and it's blue.
Okay.
No label, though. I have a question for you. Are you attempting to get into any of the other chests?
I think I will, yeah.
All right. We'll let you get into the next one, because that was a good sleight of hand. These chests are open. You find like 3 or 4 chests that are exactly the same. As you open them, you peer into one of them and you see rows of glimmering bottles. And as you carefully lift one out, it's thoroughly sealed and stoppered, full of some kind of dark, not opaque, but not clear liquid. And as you shake it, something bumps against the side of the bottle. And there's this weird little fleshy pad inside of it with little suckers all over it. And as you look at the other bottles, you see that they're all filled with the same kind of thing. It's this almost oblong or pointed little pad that has suckers on it. And they look pickled. This looks pickled.
Okay.
There's one more chest in here that is the one that had the same symbol as the one at the orphanage, but we've used that sleight of hand check to look through 2 things. Question for me is, are you taking anything?
I'm gonna take those little like blue bottles because I have 3 now, right?
Sure. Yeah, now you have 3.
All right.
And then you want any of the pickled things?
I would like to take 1 pickled thing.
1 pickled thing. And then for the last chest, I do want you to give me one more sleight of hand check, just in case.
Give me a nat 20. I got 14.
14. This case is nailed shut, and you're attempting to pry it open, but it makes a really loud as the nail comes apart, and I think you stop. You can hear that low rumble of that man's voice, and
What was that?
quiets for a second again.
I stop. I put my hands up. I'm like, no.
We're going to leave Emmett in the tent. Naya, what are you doing?
I am, trying to see where my good friends are with my see invisibility. I am assuming that I've lost sight of Emmett completely.
Yes, you have completely lost sight of Emmett, and you can see Ofelia pacing around the back of the tent.
Just see me going like,
But like so quietly because you don't want to be heard.
Yeah.
I'm not being perceived right now. I'm in the cave.
Yeah, you're kind of tucked into the mouth of the cave. There is glowing torchlight coming from further back,
Okay.
and the sound of crying,
Okay.
and a low male voice, and rushing water.
God. Where's Phobos right now?
Phobos got scared up and off and away. If you want to blink vision over to him, you can see that he's just kind of circling around the bowl of the calyx. He's up in the air, but he's just circling around.
I can telepathically communicate with my familiar?
Mm-hmm.
I think what I want to do is have Phobos go to Ofelia and lead her to my general direction, or just go to her shoulder and just look in the direction where I'm facing, as hopefully a way for her to know where I'm at.
Ofelia, Phobos lands on your shoulder. I don't think you were expecting that. You suddenly feel the talons of a bird digging into your shoulder, and he goes, "Arr!" and pecks you right in the side of the head, and then points his beak towards the cave.
Phobos, get it, but right now I'm trying to find Emmett. And then seeing Phobos is actually going to give me the idea where I'm just like, I look in my pockets and I see that Sour is sleeping, and I'm just going to poke him and I'm going to bring him out. And as he opens one eye, I'm going to say, Sour, I need you to see if you can sniff Emmett and find him and bring him to me. And I'm going to put him on the ground, and I'm just going to, I think Sour's just going to stand there for a few seconds, and then I think he's gonna flick his tongue out. Can Sour try to see?
He trundles underneath the flap of the tent, and he disappears from your view.
No.
You can familiar vision with him, though. I mean, you won't be able to see anything, but
Right, yeah. I'll do that.
through his eyes, you go blank where you are with Phobos sitting on the shoulder, and you just absolutely on the ground. But then it's so weird because, you're looking straight ahead not straight ahead, his eyes point to either side. But then it's so weird because his body starts shifting up, and he starts going vertical. But you cannot see what he is climbing against at all. Emmett, you feel a tickle on your leg.
I look down.
You can see that Sour has just climbed up underneath your pants. He's just going up.
That freaks me out, and I like shake my leg a little bit. Like, what? Stop!
You hear the tent flap open in the other tent, and he says,
What is that?
and the man comes back to the tent and opens the flap. He's got his torch again, and he sees nothing. But then he notices that the lock on one of the chests has been jimmied. He leaves wordlessly and goes out and talks to the guard who is sitting by the bonfire. As you watch through, there's just a crack in the tent flap. And that guard gets up, goes into the two quiet tents. He goes into one first and then the other, and two more guards follow him out. So we've now got 3 guards who are pacing in this central area where the encampment is. And they are just looking around corners and attempting to find anything. And Naya, you see one of them starts coming towards you in the cave.
Man, how tall is this cave?
Let's say 10 feet. Taller than a human, but not like super tall.
Oh,
It's like a tunnel. It looks like one of these lava tubes.
she's gonna try and stealth her way into the cave a little bit more to try and remain hidden.
Okay, it's fully lit. The walls are smooth. Once you round this
Oh.
corner, you don't know. Yeah, this is torch lit. Once you round this corner, you don't know what you're going to run into.
Oh, this is the torchlit one.
Yes, and like I said, you can hear crying, rushing water, and a low male voice.
Right. Yes. Oh, y'all.
Naya!
I'm gonna do the thing that I love doing right now. I shouldn't even use spell slots like this, but
Yes, you should.
I'm going to.
Use spell slots like this.
That's what I'm saying. No, your girl is gonna cast her tried and true. It worked with her and Tuval. It's gonna work for her again. She's gonna cast sleep.
Who's she casting it on?
And the guy's coming closer to her, but she's gonna let him come.
The one who's coming from outside the cave. Okay. All right. Go ahead and cast sleep. Roll me road and bones.
First of all, it's a level 1 spell. I might upcast it to level 2. This is going to be 78.
You're kidding me.
Wow.
That's wild. I was like, she's not going to do it. This man, as he reaches the entrance of the cave, just drops. He just almost like the garden Tubal, but this man just drops at the entrance of the cave. He is sound asleep and snoring.
I know I'm in front of a cave and it's totally lit. How close am I to another tent so I can kind of try and duck behind it?
Not. You are in the cave. You are not close. You would have to pass and step over this guard's body in order to get to it.
Okay, let me do a quick little pickpocket since to see if
Oh, you're gonna search this man?
I'm gonna search this man.
Oh, I mean, okay. Give me a sleight of hand. Just to be clear, there are 2 other guards patrolling around here, and you are at the cave mouth. They're looking around. They've been alerted to something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and stealth into the cave. I'm gonna keep it moving. All right.
Go ahead, give me a stealth check, please.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving. Just go. Stealth check. How'd that go? 12?
12. You walk right into the back of a guard.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, he is surprised, but he turns around to see you. He sees this little pendant of Taios hanging around your neck, and he looks up and he goes, "Where did you come from?"
This is gonna be straight up performance.
Performance or deception?
Performance, because this is the truth.
Okay. Persuasion? Are you trying to roll performance because you're better at it than persuasion and deception?
Well, because she's literally about to put on an act.
Going to perform for her life.
She's about to put on her act. It's not like she's trying to tell the truth. She's not trying to lie. It is literally her putting on an act.
All right.
It is an act, but I can do perception.
Yeah, go for it.
He just fell asleep randomly. I don't know what happened, and that there was some noise coming from over the camp, and I thought I would ask for help.
He says, "Who fell asleep?"
The captain.
He looks at you. He looks at your dress. He says, "You stay right here." And he doesn't have to go far to get to the mouth of the cave. So he goes and he kneels down towards the guard who is unconscious on the ground. Then he looks back up and at you. What are you doing?
Standing right there, looking utterly confused.
He says, "You're coming with me." Roll initiative, please.
22.
Oh, damn. Okay, so he is moving towards you to attempt to grab you, but you get to act first.
It's okay.
No, I was gonna do something stupid again, and I was just gonna cast sleep again. At this point, yeah, I think that's exactly what Naya's gonna do.
You're just reaching for that. No. Down.
No. So there's that.
What'd you roll?
I'm just gonna cast this at first level.
Okay.
Because it's like 5d8, just naturally.
Ooh, it doesn't work. But he feels that wave of magic against him and feels like a kind of almost the pull of slumber. But he resists it and he moves to attack you with his longsword. So he is going to make a melee weapon attack against you. So he's going to roll strength. So 14, does that beat your AC?
Well, I feel like my AC is at 13 though.
It might be.
As Naya is doing this, when we're in our familiars, can we move our bodies to like the familiar body?
You can move the familiar body, you just cannot move your own.
Then I'm just gonna since Sara was on his back, and he's gonna just stand up and he's gonna face towards Emmett, and I'm gonna do like this with the paw, with like the little paw of Sara.
You're just having him gesture, "Come here," at Emmett.
Yeah, as best as I can.
So Sara doesn't actually see Emmett, but he does the gesture, and then he turns around and he trundles out of the tent, and you scoop him up as he comes out from under. Emmett, what do you do?
I don't want to be in this tent anymore. I've messed up enough, and so I walk out.
I think you run right into Ofelia. Like, you just walk into her.
Ow!
Emmett?
So we're going to resolve, though, this attack in the cave. So that hits.
Wait, 14 hits you?
Yeah, because I'm squishy. I don't have mage armor.
You guys are squishy spellcasters. He does 7 slashing damage to you.
Okay.
Oh.
He raises his voice and is, "There's someone in here!"
Shit. I'm guessing we hear that from outside. Okay, I'm gonna just like hold where Emmett is, and I'm gonna say, "Follow me. I think Naya's in trouble," and we're gonna try heading towards the mouth of the cave, invisible.
One of the guards who was patrolling was too far away to hear this. The other one could hear it, and he is moving towards the cave as you are as well. This one is a seepy boy. Now, this other one can't see you two, but you are all converging on the mouth of the cave at the same time.
Yes.
We're gonna have everybody else roll initiative too.
Okay.
So that soldier, 13, 9.
Why?
God
Why?
dang it. It's a nat 1 for me for my initiative, so that's gonna be a 3.
Okay.
Like a 9.
But since we're invisible, can we technically have a surprise round on them?
Yeah, actually, you can have a surprise round on the guard that is approaching the cave. You can see that he observes one of the other guards unconscious at the mouth of the cave, and he's concerned with that and moving towards it. So you can have a surprise round on the one who's going to inspect the unconscious one. Emmett first, and then you.
How many feet away is this guy?
Not far. You guys are maybe 10 feet from each other.
Cool. Blindness, deafness as a curse is not concentration.
Nice.
So I am going to I'm gonna cast that
All right.
on him.
Needs to make a con save. Okay. 20.
Is that against my spell save?
That's against your spell save DC, yes.
15.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work. I don't think this guard recognizes, I feel like this place is already dark and he felt like things got a little bit darker, but I don't think he recognizes it as a curse being cast against him. You can see that he is inspecting this sleeping guy and he's about to get up again, but it is Ophelia's turn first in this surprise round.
To the guy that's about to come onto the cave, I'm gonna hurry up so it seems like we're going towards, we're a little bit more ahead of it, and I'm gonna turn to him in passing, and I'm going to cast command, and I'm going to say, ignore.
Nice.
Amazing. Is there any resisting command?
Yes, he has to make a wisdom saving throw against 16.
He got a 6.
Yep.
So you cast ignore. He straightens up and he turns and he walks away back towards the tent he came out of. You two are now currently in the mouth of the cave. You are standing near this body, which I will emphasize is just lying there, lit by torches.
Yeah, Ophelia's gonna see that. And can I do like a druid craft thing where as I move him just a little bit, I can make it seem like there's rocks obscuring his form by any chance? It's a cantrip.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. In the meantime, Naya, this man just struck you with his sword and delivered some piercing damage. What are you going to do?
Oh my god.
Curse.
Oh, I'm about to curse this man.
That's true. He did. Yeah, you can as a reaction.
I've been trying to figure out which curse I'm about to throw on this man.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit him up with the fear.
Amazing. Wisdom save plus 0. Man got a 9.
Great. Bro should be fearful of me.
Wait, how do you frighten him? What does he look like? Or what do you do? What do you do?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. He slashes me with his sword. I take a step back and I look at how he's almost kind of got a little gash in my leather armor and almost cut the cloak that Emmett worked so hard to steal from me. And I look up to him, very angry, very intense, and I say, back.
What he sees as you say this to him is he almost sees your form morph. It's almost hallucinogenic into this terrifying creature with long claws and sharp teeth, and he goes and he starts backing away from you. So he's going now away from the cave entrance that you came through towards the sound of this rushing water, and as he goes back you actually see him round a corner. Are you following him at all?
Absolutely not.
All right, so you don't see what happens as he backs around the corner, but he's moving away from you.
I mean, I would love it for the folks who would be listening at home, but Naya is like, no,
You hear the sound of something opening and shutting over the sound of the water. He'll have a chance to do a save again on his next turn, but I want to know then what Ofelia and Emmett are going to do.
Do we catch the guard running away as we come to Naya?
I think you catch him running away just as you come in further into the cave. You see him run off away around a corner from Naya.
Okay.
Are we back together?
You're all back together, although Naya wouldn't... do you still have see invisibility up?
No, because I cast Sphere as a concentration.
So you don't know that they're there.
Ophelia would have dropped the invisibility spell, I think, as soon as we see Naya.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stand. I think Naya has the see invisibility still on, so I'm just going to walk right up to her and just like maybe be breathing a little bit too much on her. So there's just breath on you.
Hot breath. The hot breath of a child.
Naya, just having been through the intensity of throwing a curse, will probably not freak out too much about this because she's still so focused on the guard that she'll then turn and be like, Emmett, is that you?
Oh, hi.
Naya, what happened? Where did that guard go?
I don't know, but I've cursed him. I don't know how long that'll last. We need to go now. If we're going to do this, we need to do this now.
Shouldn't it be better that we take care of that guard so he doesn't let the others know to chase us?
Can I sneak further into the cave while you guys handle this?
100%.
Okay. I tell them that I'm going to do that. I'm going to sneak in, okay? I know how to do this. If I need help, you guys are right here.
Emmett,
Okay?
Go, Emmett.
So Emmett rounds this corner.
Just in case. I know I'm invisible, but do I want to do any extra sneaky?
Oh, well, you're invisible, so I don't know what it would occur to... You don't need to stealth necessarily because no one can see you, but if you want to do anything extra, please let me know.
I just know that, like, we're in a cave, and I know that all the sound is echoing off. Is it quieter or louder in here?
It's louder in here because you can hear the sound of water, and it's bouncing off the cave walls. Moving water.
I'm not going to be stomping or anything, so I'll just walk in and see what's going on in here.
You round this corner, and what you see is a cage made of wood, lashed together, covered in spikes. There's a door on it with a lock, and you can see that this guard, in his fear, has opened the door and locked himself into the cage with 5 children. The cage itself is pushed up against a wall, and it's on the bank of what appears to be an additional river running through. And you can tell from the way that this encampment has, like, you've come across and it's sort of curved around, that this river empties out into the calyx.
Okay.
So there's nowhere to go beyond this cave that isn't into the water.
Okay. Interesting. So he locked himself in?
He locked himself into the cage with the children out of fear.
Boom.
What's the look on these kids' faces?
Miserable.
Miserable?
One little boy looks supremely angry. Some of the smaller ones have been crying, and you look and you realize that you're looking at Bean.
What? I don't say that out loud, but my eyes go wide and I like cover my mouth. I've already been too loud outside, so I see Bean and I'm just like, okay. Internally, I'm like, okay.
This man has fully taken the lock and reached through the cage and clasped it together so that the door is actually locked shut from the outside and he is inside with the keys.
Okay, I want to go around. Is like Bean closer to one of the sides of the cage?
No, Bean is actually tucked up against about as far away as he can get.
I want to see if I can maybe go closer to where, as close to one of the sides of the cage as I can. Mm-hmm. And do I get the idea that if I were to whisper, the guard would also hear me?
Yes, it's not a very big cage. Okay. They are all cramped in there.
I am going to, I don't know, could I try and pick the lock?
Yeah, you can try to pick the lock. Give me a sleight of hand check, DC 15.
Alright. What the frick?
Oh, so close!
Could I cast guidance on myself?
Yes, you can cast guidance on yourself.
I think that's...
You drop your invisibility.
That's bad. I'm not going to do that. I fail, but does this make him notice that I was trying to pick it?
We will say because you did not drop invisibility to cast guidance on yourself that he sees the lock jiggle, but right now he is absolutely terrified of Naya, and he assumes it's some weird, freaky thing that Naya is doing with her mind powers, and he just sort of scooches further back into the cage.
Okay.
We're gonna go back to Naya and Ofelia.
Yes, we should take care of this guard. just hide him a little bit.
The other guard was hidden. The one that was sleeping was hidden.
Oh, great.
The one that you have to worry about is the one that's in the cage. The other one is ignoring. One of them's asleep and covered by druidcraft, and the last one is the one that's afraid of you and inside the cage.
Oh, then I would probably continue to go into the cave. I thought there was another body lying around, so I was like, take care of the guard. No,
Y'all got it.
I've already taken care of him. We're gonna go find Emmett.
So you guys move into the cage. Ophelia is not invisible. Naya's not invisible. So he sees you rock up, Naya, and he backs himself. He squeezes Bean out of the way to get the kids in front of him as he attempts to get away from you. I'm going to have him roll his next wisdom saving throw to see if he stops being afeared. But he gets a 6, and I assume that fails.
Mm-hmm. We're rocking with an 18 right now.
He starts crying. And then that actually makes some of the other kids start crying too.
God.
They know this guy is kind of scary, and they don't know, like, they don't think you're scary, but they see he's scared, and they're like, what is this? Bean is stoic as hell, though. Bean just looks mad.
Yeah, that's the Bean I know.
Naya's gonna take this opportunity to be like, whoa. She's gonna try and calm the kids. Like, don't worry, we're here to get you out. We're here to get you out. No need to cry. Why are you all even in here? Do you know?
Bean looks at you and he says, they took us. They took us. They put us in boxes and they brought us here.
Do you know why?
No, but I know they took my sister.
Where? I say out loud.
Oh, you say that out loud. Okay. Bean is confused. This voice did not seem to come from Naya, but it sounds familiar. And he says, what is that?
I drop invisibility.
He goes, Emmett, they took Sprout. They have Sprout. They put a thing on her, and I don't know how to help her. She's outside the cave right now, but they take the kids into the other
Let's
cave,
be quiet.
and
Let's
then
be
they
quiet, Bean. Deep breath.
we need your
big
help.
breath. Big.
Help! Can you help Sprout? Emmett, can you help Sprout?
Yes. Now more than ever, I can help you. And this is Naya and Ofelia. They're good.
Bean wipes the back of his arm across his nose, just a big sneer of snot across his face. He goes, it's nice to meet you. Can you help my sister, please?
It's nice to meet you. We will absolutely do our best to help.
Yeah, so these kids are all locked in. Bean is upset. What do you guys want to do? This guard failed his last check, but I'm going to keep having him make checks until we figure out what's happening here.
As Ophelia seeing that the guard is scared, I'm actually going to turn to Naya and I'm going to say, I think we can use this. Interrogate him. Have him help us.
Absolutely, yes.
Ooh, okay.
This is great. I love this. Maybe step 1, we can get him to give us the key so that we can unlock this, get the kids out. I'm going to do that.
Okay, we're going to have you roll intimidation with advantage against his, since it's a wisdom save for fear, I'll have him roll wisdom.
Intimidation
14.
with advantage and 24.
Damn. What do you say to this man? He's making himself small. Mm-hmm. He's making himself into as small of a ball as he can. He's truly trying to hide behind the tiniest children. Mm-hmm. He has a bit of snot coming down his nose too.
Naya takes a deep breath and then looks at the guard and says, quiet.
He and then he stops himself.
1, give me the key to this lock.
He takes the keys off of his belt loop and he throws them towards the door, but he does not come closer to you. So they slide to the foot of the cage, which you can reach under and grab them.
I grab them and I hand them to Emmett.
Thank you. I unlock it.
Why do you have these children here?
We have, they're, Collis had them brought here. We use them to keep the asset powered. We brought them there because no one was going to miss them, so we have them here because we have to keep the asset under control and we have to keep it powered.
The asset?
Yeah.
What's the asset?
What is the asset?
In the shrine cave, the asset in the shrine cave. It's the thing that they They use it to make the drones. We have to keep it powered because they use it to make the drones.
What drones?
The drones. They're the ones that they put them on people and then.
Ah, the little stone on the back of the neck.
Yes, the stones with the shunts. Yes.
The shunts. Interesting. Why? What purpose do they serve?
I don't know. They're just because the church needs more people.
More people for what?
Is the church losing followers?
He starts crying, like legitimate. I don't know if the church needs more followers. I'm just trying to do my job, and they just pay pretty well.
You're a bad person.
I know I am.
Ophelia's gonna step closer, and I'm going to ask this guard, how do we get to the shrine cave?
The boat will come back soon, or I don't know.
Where's an extra boat? You must keep some extras.
There's the only other extra boat is in the shrine cave with the guards there, but you could. They used the knife. They used the knife on some of the priests and the clerics, and now they live under the water. You could do that too.
Where is this knife?
I don't know. Cattle keeps it on him. I don't know if he still has it. Collis was just here, and I think he kept the knife for himself. But I don't know who has it. I swear to you, I do not know what you need to know.
What's your name?
Borson.
Borson?
Borson.
Okay, Borson.
You stay here and don't move.
What's your spell save DC?
18.
All right, that is a 14.
As this is happening, I'm also going to... He said the word name cattle.
Yeah.
Can I make that connection that it's probably the guard that I was overhearing in the tent?
Yeah.
Because he said something about using the dagger again.
Right.
And that he was
Yeah.
prohibited by Collis. So can I assume that that's the guard?
Yeah, I think you assume, because he's saying it like it's somebody in charge, I think you make the connection that it might be that man who came out of the tent.
I'm just going to pet the guard on the head and just say, everything will be fine. I'm going to turn to Naya and Emmett, and I'm just going to tell them, you guys should probably take the children out and quiet them just a little bit. I'm just gonna talk with Borson here for a little bit.
Shit!
Okay.
Why don't you roll me an intimidation check? Damn. As the kids file out, like this cave that you're in, the one that connects to the encampment, it's not super long, and it will empty you right out into the encampment. So
Right.
You shuffle the kids out of the cage. Ophelia goes in. Do you close the door behind you?
Yeah, it's a 21 for intimidation.
Okay, well, and it works. As you shut the cage door behind you and you say, I'm going to talk to him. The kids join Emmett and Naya. Why don't you two offline about what you want to do while I run this conversation with Ofelia and Orson? He goes, what do you want?
If you answer my questions as clearly as you can, I can free you.
Okay.
So, what is Collis's plan with the drones and the children and the asset?
He goes, I don't know what he's making. He just wants a lot. He wants the drones made, and so we approach the asset 2 or 3 times a day, and we use the resources to feed it.
What is the asset? Describe it. You keep referring it to as the asset.
It's a beast. It's a horrifying beast. It's huge. It's got long tentacles, and they have it trapped in the circle in the cave.
Was this asset part of the shrine, or did you guys create it?
All I know is that the circle is here, and that they're using it to keep. After Collis got the knife and he came here, they used it to make some of the soldiers and some of the priests also beasts that live under the water, and they chased it through the island into the cave, and they trapped it in the circle. I have no idea how. I don't know what the cave is for. I don't know what. I thought shrines, I didn't think there were any shrines left. So imagine my surprise when I see the church just using one. But
How many guards?
Two in the cave, one in the water. And another somewhere else in the water.
You're being very helpful. How many guards are in this camp?
8 on land. And probably 4 or 5 in the water.
And then, is Cattle the guy with the big, thick beard?
Yeah, that's it.
And he has the dagger?
I don't think he still has the dagger. He was just obsessed with it. I think Collis took the dagger with him when he left.
Where is Collis right now? Is he at the church?
I don't know. He doesn't report to me. He's out doing whatever it is he does. You know, he's big man at the top, and he just, I have no idea what he's doing.
Shh, you're doing great. You're doing great. And I'm gonna just approach closer.
Can I go?
I told you that I would offer you your freedom if you listened and answered to everything I asked, and you have. And as I approach closer to him, I'm gonna take out my scythe and I'm going to cut his throat.
That was Annette Lee as Ofelia, Ashlyn Sparrow as Naya, and Tegan Mack as Emmett. Sara Brink was the game master. Story editing and sound design by Sara Brink. Oops All Witches is a playtest of the Witch class created for The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One, produced by Fortunate Horse. For more information, visit the Worlds Beyond Number Patreon. Oops All Witches is a Dancing Stickman production. If you're enjoying the podcast and you'd like to hear more nerdy content like this, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. And be sure to tell your friends. Thanks for listening.